4:34 on this Thursday, and right now in downtown Detroit, we've got about 24 degrees, 19 tonight. In Farmington Hills, it's 25 right now, with 20 degrees predicted for later this evening. No rain or snow in the forecast. 313-568-1200. That's our number here on the Mildred Gaddis Show. My next guest is no stranger to our show. He has been honored as one of the best lawyers in America by the oldest and most respected peer-reviewed publication in the legal profession. Attorney Gerald Thurswell has obtained numerous multi-million-dollar jury verdicts and settlements for injured people in courts throughout Michigan and across the country. And he's joining me here. Let me say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, Mildred. It's good to talk to you.
Oh, it's good to talk to you. Miss you. Counselor, you've seen the video.
Yes.
My first question is, and it may sound silly, but I believe that the only silly question is the unasked question.
I agree.
If you are a defendant, if you are a suspect, you're handcuffed. Let's say you go to trial and you're found guilty. Do you forfeit any time along the way, that process? Do you forfeit your right to sue police brutality if you've been brutalized by police?
Absolutely not. The police do not have the right to act as judge and jury. When I watched the video, he's down and he's being punched. He's down, he's handcuffed, and he's being kicked. You know, they're beating him up. They don't have a right to beat him up. They have a right to arrest him. They have a right to restrain him. But they don't have a right to then punish him by beating him and kicking him.
What disturbs you most about what you saw?
I just wonder how many times that happens, how many times it occurs, and there's nobody there with a cell phone or a video. It occurs and nobody's watching. These officers did not know that they were being watched. Apparently, it looked to me as if it was being watched from a home or the porch. I don't know.
It looks like a woman was inside her home, inside her living room, with the door open.
It's they're talking about trying to have officers have a camera on them at all times, and I think that will be good for both the defendants and also for the police department. Everybody will be on the up and up.
You know, what are the legal issues in a case like this?
Well, first of all, there's 3. He can sue them for assault and battery. They beat him up, and they kicked him, they punched him. Clearly, he can sue for that. Also, there's a federal claim. It's a violation of his civil rights for them to beat him up. I mean, he's handcuffed, he's down, it looks like he's face down, and they're kicking him and punching him. They have no right to punish him. I'm not saying he's a good guy, but they're not the people that do the punishment. And we don't punish people by beating them up. We put them in prison. We put them behind bars. We don't beat up people just because they commit a crime.
You know, I had the same thought that you had when I saw that, and I was wondering, just how great is the number of cases that never make it on video? There seems to be a pathology that exists, and I understand that the group of police officers who break the law like this, that number is small. But whatever that number is, it's still too great and should not be a reality.
Nobody should be beat up by the police. Nobody.
So
when you looked at that video, he's face down. His arms are handcuffed behind him, and that one officer comes over and kicks him in the side. The other officer is pounding, I don't know, it's his neck or his head or his back. I mean, that isn't our society. We don't believe in an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. We have a criminal justice system where somebody's accused of a crime, they go to trial or they plead guilty, and they're punished. They're incarcerated. And that's the punishment that society says is right, and it is right.
If there are parents listening out there and they have young males who are stopped by police. Some are treated with respect, some are harassed, some find themselves in handcuffs. What's the conversation they should be having with their children?
You've got to be as polite as you can be. Follow the instructions of the officer. If you did something right, or if you violated the law, you follow the instructions and you're polite. We don't know what that guy was saying to the officers, but it really doesn't matter. The officer, he could have sworn at him, he could have threatened him, he could have said anything. He was handcuffed, and they had no right to punish him. They had no right to beat him up. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. But the bottom line is what you just said a few minutes ago, and what police departments should do all over the country. They should have those video cameras on these police officers, and the police officers will act better, and the defendants will act better. You'll get more convictions, and officers will be protected. And it's got to be a very, very small percentage. But one person being beat up by the police is too many. If it's your friend, your relative, or you, that's one person too many.
Without a doubt. Attorney Gerald Thurswell of the Thurswell Law Firm, my guest here on the Mildred Gaddis Show. 313-568-1200 is our number. If you have a question for the attorney, give him a call here on the Mildred Gaddis Show. We'll be right back. It's 4:44 in the Motor City. Attorney Gerald Thurswell is my guest. We're talking about the video that has created much debate in the Detroit metropolitan area. It is the situation where an alleged carjacker was handcuffed by police. These police officers were part of an anti-carjacking task force. Video has been made available showing them beating the man and kicking him while handcuffed. Thanks for checking in. What's your question or comment for Attorney Gerald Thurswell, Dennis?
Yeah, my question for the attorney is, with this video, and I think I heard they're going to prosecute the officers, do you think that with this video, police are getting a message nationally that, and America in general, because of the videos that came out with the CIA treatment of criminals? Do you think that's going to change the way police look at things, even though you had the chief or maybe the commanding officers saying that the officers did the right thing? How do you feel about that?
Well, number one is Kim Worthy, the Wayne County prosecutor, has turned the investigation over to the Michigan State Police to do a full investigation. That's number one. Number two, how many times have we seen on TV in the last year or so video of officers beating up people, hitting people, doing exactly the same thing? They know that they're being watched, and they're continually doing it. I don't know how to stop it other than having every police officer have one of those video cameras on and one of those video cams. I think that's the only way to stop this. I don't care if it's 1% or a half of 1%. It's got to stop. Number one, God forbid it could be you, a relative. It's got to stop. And the video cams are the only way to do it. I mean, we saw the situation in New York just recently. We just saw that situation. It was videotaped. And yet these officers just the other day go ahead and they kick and punch this guy after he's handcuffed and on the ground. I mean, the only way to do it is have those video cams. I don't know another way.
It's 4:46. Shamir's gone. Belinda and Warren, you're on with Attorney Gerald Thurswell.
Yes, hello. Hi, hello to both of you all.
Hi.
I like to ask this question. I hope I'm not, my phone is not echoing. The prosecutor, Kim Worthy's office, does not want to handle this case. It's going to, what is that next level?
Wait. First of all, the prosecutor will then issue charges after a full investigation. First of all, she's turned it over to the Michigan State Police, so we have an independent body, not the Detroit Police Department, investigating themselves. So the Michigan State Police will come up with some conclusions. They'll take witness statements. They'll try to figure out what happened. Then one is Kim Worthy could prosecute. She positively could prosecute, or she could turn it over to the Michigan Attorney General, who could then ask for a special prosecutor.
Right.
So I don't know what's going to happen, but first we have to have the investigation of Michigan State Police. Then Kimberly will decide whether she's going to prosecute. She'll ask the Attorney General to do it, or the special prosecutor will be appointed.
Right. Because you know what, I guess I'm so overwhelmed at all of these different cases in other states and everything. I usually already know that. So that goes to show you how overwhelming this all these situations are, beginning to happen. But can I ask one more question?
Yes.
Okay, this is what I like to know. Okay, judges who were once attorneys, and they have worked in any prosecutor's office, not just Detroit, not just Wayne County. When cases go before those same judges that was once lawyers, for those prosecutor officers, I'm beginning to wonder now, unless I'm totally wrong, that I don't even think that that's fair for that, what is that, summary, if they're going to see if they're going to take it to another judge, if it's going to be thrown out of court.
It doesn't go like that. Let's assume
Okay.
for a moment charges are issued, okay? Let's assume charges are issued. If the judge has any connection with who's ever prosecuting, a motion can be filed and the judge can be disqualified. But in these cases, in a case like this, let's assume charges are brought. Once charges are brought, the defendant, the police officers, will then have a jury trial. So the judge won't make the decision. This is, it's not going to be a judge's decision to make. It's going to be a jury decision to make, hopefully.
Okay, thank you.
Belinda, we appreciate the call. 313-568-1200. Let's see, we'll go to Charles in Detroit. Hi, Charles.
Hi, Mildred. Hello, Alpha.
Okay, I'm having difficulty. Your call isn't clear, Charles. Can you speak up?
Hi, Mildred. Hi, Counsel.
Hi.
My question is, if the suspect is convicted and he sues the court, can the carjacking victim then go after the person who carjacked her and sue him?
Well, presumably, yes. Yeah, the person could go after the individual who took her car. Apparently, he had taken a gun, put it to her face, asked her for money when she said she had no money. He took her car. Her two kids got out of the car. Yeah, she could sue him, but this guy here has a criminal record. Apparently, he subscribed on some parole violations, and now he's got these new charges. You can sue him. How are you ever going to collect any money from him? How are you going to get a dime out of him? That's the problem. You can sue, get a verdict of $1 million, $10 million, but what would you be able to collect? You'd be able to collect nothing.
Maddie in Lincoln Park, glad you called.
Hi, I have a question. When they kicked him, when the guy called for Jesus and he kicked him in the head, is that also a violation of his rights, religious rights or something?
Not when he called for Jesus, but when he kicked him. When he kicked him, there was no reason to kick him. There was no reason to kick him. There was no reason to punch him. He was already down in handcuffs. It's outrageous.
And then the next thing is a comment. That woman, she needs to know that the officer wasn't beating on the guy because of her. That was, to me, it seemed like personal gratification.
I think there's a lot of validity to what you just said. Doesn't that make it sick? Doesn't it make it even more sick?
Right, and I hope she's listening to this, because that same officer probably beat up one of her sons if nobody's watching, one of the older ones, And I just want her to know, none of that happened because of her. Those guys were pleasing themselves.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah, so I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Thanks for making the point. We appreciate it. So, how long do you expect the Michigan State Police to conduct this investigation? How much time do you think it will take? 30 days, 60, 90?
It's got to take time because it's got to be thorough. They have to cross every T. They have to dot every I. It has to be thorough. The sad thing about it is I don't know if there's any witnesses other than the woman who videotaped it. And I think the videotape will speak for itself. That's number one. And then they're going to have to get statements from the officers. So, I don't know. The bottom line in these cases, you want a thorough investigation. You want it to be thorough. You don't want these officers charged and then for them to get off if they're guilty. And that's, you don't want to rush things. is you want it to be thorough. You want to be able to convict these officers. I don't see how they're going to get out of it. I don't see that in any way.
One of these officers, Attorney Thurswell, seems to be a bad character.
Oh, yeah, he has had problems before with similar incidents. I don't know. I would think because he had had those problems before, that the police department should do extensive psychological testing on these people to be sure that when they're faced with situations like this, that they don't let their emotions get in control over reason. They're supposed to be evaluated. They're supposed to be psychiatrists and psychologists evaluating them. These people have guns. They have authority. They handcuff people. They better have all their ducks in order. They better have their brain working and thinking as opposed to acting on emotion. Just like that woman just said a moment ago, and she was very right. This guy was doing something for his personal gratification. He's got somebody down. He's kicked them.
Yes. And I'm going to give you all in just a minute the number to the Thurswell law firm. Attorney Gerald Thurswell, you handle this kind of law all the time. Are we in a season right now where all of this stuff is coming up, or does it happen all the time and we're just in the video season?
I think we're in video season. I don't think there's something new about this. I just think people are using their cell phones and they're videotaping things like this all the time. When that woman started the video, she had no idea what it was going to reveal. And I think people just use their cell phones to, capture things like this. And then every so often it's a disaster like this. It's a horrendous abuse of power. It's an abuse of power.
Is there any chance that the defense for the police officers will be able to keep that video out of court?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That video is coming in 100%.
Is the background, is there any likelihood that the background of this police officer who's had problems, been fired from other places because of similar behavior, any chance that they'll be able to keep his employment history and why he was fired out of court?
Yeah, that may very well be, because what you've done in the past does not necessarily mean what you're doing in this situation. So that may very, very well be kept out of the jury's hands. But, when we have witnesses, this occurred and that occurred, and two witnesses can watch the same thing and see two different things.
That is so true.
Thank God for videos. Thank God for videos. They don't lie.
You know what I find amazing, and I forgot what percentage it is, but there is a high percentage of eyewitness testimony that's false. And what I mean is, you can have 10 people watch a scene, watch a crime occur, and they will disagree on what color jacket he was wearing, what he really looked like, his approximate height. I find that so interesting.
It happens all the time. Because we view things based on our past experiences, and we look at there's that statement, everybody creates their own reality. Mm-hmm. What really happens, and then we look at things and we create our own reality based on our past experiences. So
interesting. If you'd like to talk with Attorney Gerald Thurswell, the number is 866-354-5544. That's 866-354-5544. Again, Happy New Year, and thanks for talking with us and helping us understand the legal aspects to this situation. We appreciate you.
All right. You have a Happy New Year, too, and I wish you the very best. Take care.
See you soon. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.